Spitalny, one of the co-founders of Fairytale Brownies, and as she said, this is my business partner, David Kravetz, the other co-founder of Fairytale Brownies. But really what we're here to tell a story about is our friendship. And I've known David since kindergarten. And David and I are native Phoenicians and grew up just down the road, and we went to the Madison Heights school when we were little, and we've been buddies ever since. And when we were young, we ate his mom's brownies almost every day after school. And as we grew, we continued to hang out and be friends. And in high school, we started doing our class projects together, and we just always worked well together. I could always see the big picture, and then David knew what formula. So we always kind of just stuck together, and we're like, maybe we got something going on here. Maybe when we grow up, we should start a business together. So we continued the friendship, and we went off to college, and we were in different places in California, but we would visit each other and go to football games together. And we still had this great connection, and I started working the entrepreneur program where I was in school, and that's when we first kind of learned what this entrepreneur thing is. And we're like, maybe we should do that business thing, and it's called being an entrepreneur, and then we don't have to have a boss. And so after college, we got our corporate jobs for about 5 or 6 years, and David was going to go away to London, and then the budget got cut, and we're like, see, those bosses. So we're like, maybe this is the time to do it. So we quit our day jobs, and we wrote a business plan. And in 1992, we took his mom's brownie recipe, and we started Fairytale Brownies.
So we didn't realize at the time, but we were starting a seasonal business. And sitting here and listening to all the stories about Christmas has made me realize, which I already knew, our whole business, everything we do is about Christmas. We're already planning for next Christmas. We make all of our money for the whole year during the month of December. In fact, we've been in business now for 22 years, and we have never, thank you, not one year have we ever made a profit in any other month other than December. This is true.
They're laughing.
You're laughing, and it's true.
It's painful.
We lose money from January through November every year. And Christmas comes every year, and we make it all back. Except for 1 year. But that's not the year I'm going to tell you about. We're going to tell you about the story about the year that we ran out of brownies. And in 1992, as Eileen said, we started the business, and we found a cheap, deserted shopping center that had a little 1,000 square foot restaurant, abandoned restaurant in the back corner. And we got our bank loan, parents co-signed the bank loan, and we started our business in that back corner. And we didn't read legal documents, we didn't have much experience, and we didn't know that we signed an agreement with our landlord that allowed him to relocate us to any other suite within the shopping center at his expense. And sure enough, a better tenant comes along, a bigger tenant that needs our space. And so the story begins on November 19th, 1994, which was moving day. And we thought it was going to go great. We thought a professional moving company would come in and would close down our little suite, and one day and the next day we'd open up in the new suite and we'd be baking brownies again. And that is really not how it worked out.
No, so it was a moving day, and we were ready. We had everything outside for the movers, and here comes these two dudes in the parking lot. They're like, we won't name his name, but your landlord has sent us over to move you. And we're like, where's the van? We're ready to load it up. He's like, no, but we're just going to, take it across the parking lot. So Timmy and Tommy were their names, and yes, it's true. They were not little Santa elves, but they were little homeless dudes that lived in an empty suite also there on 68th Street in Thomas. So Timmy and Tommy said, well, no, we're your movers. So the first thing they took was our mixer, and my husband, our first baker, who's here tonight too, they took that mixer, they walked across the parking lot, and they dropped it. They dropped it. That's our bread and butter. They just dropped it, and then they brought it. And so we got out the video camera because we're like, we think we need to start backing this whole thing up because this is going downhill fast. And so you can see Mike on the camera going like this, and our bowl's like this in that. We're like, oh my gosh, what are we going to do? So anyways, deal with that. So that's November 19th, you know. So no, we weren't up and running Monday morning. I mean, Monday morning we didn't have a mixer that worked. And we also moved into a suite that they weren't finished constructing, but they said, well, you can still do business and we'll finish it up. So we're trying to, you know, time is passing and the phone starts ringing and we're like, oh my God, right here comes this Christmas thing again. It's huge for us and we didn't really get it. This is our kind of second season in business. And so the orders keep coming, which was exciting, but we're doing business with a phone on the floor because they haven't put the windows in and you're sitting on the ground with a clipboard and they're calling our 800 number. We had been in the New York Times that year, so people were calling from all over the place. So we'd say, hey, Mike, go down the street to our storage shed, which was, you know, our warehouse, which was a storage shed, and we need 200 keepsake boxes. We got a big order. And so he'd come back and he'd be like, I got your keepsake boxes, there's 90. And I go, no, we need 200. Well, we had no systems. We didn't even know, you know, we didn't even know when we started that we started a manufacturing company. We just wanted to bake the best brownies in the world and be friends and have a good time doing brownies. And so anyway, so he's like, there's not 200, Eileen, there's 90. I was like, well, we need 200. He's like, well, there's 90. I'm like, all right. So we just kind of started over-delivering with people. And then people kept calling. They were so happy. But then David's like, just stop. Just don't even answer the phone. Don't take their orders. And we're like, wait, this is when we make our money. He's like, just don't do it. Stop answering the phone. Don't take any orders. We don't even know how many brownies we could bake. So it just continually was getting worse and worse and worse, and we're like, you know what we're going to have to do? We're going to have to ration the brownies.
So we started the rationing, and it was 6 per person. That's what you were allowed to buy when you came into our store. And Eileen was working behind the counter, and a family friend walked in, and it was a friend of my mom's, and she wanted, I think, maybe 2 dozen brownies. And Eileen said, we can sell you 6. And she was not having that at all. She wanted her 2 dozen brownies. And the strange thing is that there were nothing but brownies in sight. All you could see was like a wall of brownies. Brownie boxes stacked up. The guys are baking in the back. You know, there's just shipping boxes going out. Brownies everywhere, and we said, no, those are all sold. Those are sold, and we can't even make enough. And she wasn't having that, and she stormed out, and you know, there were some words, and she stormed out, and then Eileen started to cry. And you know, that's where the friendship, I think, kind of has come in. And I told her it was going to be okay. It's just brownies. And I cannot tell you how many times in 22 years we've said, it's just brownies. Like, it's okay. But people get a little crazy if their brownies don't arrive by Christmas. So we, you know, that was the last year we ran out of brownies. We put some systems in place and promised never to run out of brownies ever again. But, you know, I sort of picked up Eileen during that time, and she's picked me up, and I couldn't imagine starting a business by myself and not having a partner, someone to lean on. You know, there's been times when I've been down. I'm a little more of the worrier. You know, is it going to happen? Is all the sales going to come in? Eileen's a little more of the sort of eternal optimist, live in the moment. She always tells me it's going to be okay, and it always is. And just so you know, so the lady that left, she called my mom that night and had a little talk, and then I got a call from my mom later that night. And of course, I'm not going to say no to mom. So that lady came the next day, and she went around the back where nobody could see, and we had her 2 dozen brownies all ready to go for her. And she became a customer, you know, ever since. But anyway, like I said, we've never run out of brownies ever since. We just were at work today. You know, this was the end of another great season. We've had, you know, a lot of ups and downs. It was the friendship that got us through that first year, the year 1994, when we ran out of brownies. It was our friendship that's got us through the recession in 2008, the only year we ever lost money. And it's the friendship that got us through this season, where we just came and just finished up, and be the friendship that gets us through the future as we continue to grow and just keep spreading some joy with Fairytale Brownies. So, thank you.